Hey, Gary Parker here. Welcome to Summer Statistics. I'm going to give you a quick overview of the course. Let's jump in and take a look. So this is an introduction to probability and statistics online. I'm Gary Parker. We're going to play around with all kinds of numbers and make some nice charts and graphs. So first, a quick note on what statistics is. So in statistics, we try to measure things from a population. So a population is a big group. People could be things. Things we measure are called parameters. So for example, what percent of the population wears helmets? You can see a lot of helmet wearing folks in this picture. It's the average weight of this population. And there's a ton of other things we might want to measure. Now, the problem is coming up with the whole population, gathering information from every single individual is often impossible. So we have to rely on samples. So based on the sample, we can easily calculate the percent of them that are wearing helmets, or the average weight of those individuals. And we can use that to try and predict things about the population. So that's the big goal of this course. Using samples to predict things about a population, stuff we can measure in a population, percentages, averages, things like that. A statistic is specifically anything you calculate based on a sample. And a sample is just a small group from a population. These are all words we're going to get used to in Chapter 1. And again, populations are difficult to work with. So imagine if you needed to get the average weight of squirrels in your neighborhood. How are you going to collect all that information, right? It's going to be very hard. You can't get all of them. Good luck even catching one of them. Descriptive statistics is what we start off with. That's about the first 3, maybe 4 weeks of the course. There we collect data and then we try to summarize that data. That data might be summarized in a table, like a frequency distribution here. It could be put in a bar chart, like this histogram down here, or maybe we're going to have a pie chart to represent the data. People don't like looking at big lists of numbers, so somehow we have to summarize it. And descriptive statistics is that process. So about 3-4 weeks on that. Histogram is the most common graph you'll see in most statistics classes. It helps you figure out how the data is spread out. What's the distribution of the data? There's also a box plot, and they're helpful in determining how the data is distributed. We'll get more into those next week. And again, how to calculate these summary statistics. Most of the work we do will be with spreadsheets. Now, again, we're trying to predict things about a population, and so that's the idea of an inference. And inferential statistics is where this course is ultimately headed, and that'll be the second half of the course, or almost 2/3 of the course. One big idea is the idea of a confidence interval. So what is average human body temperature? How do we determine that? Suppose we're looking at some sport. What's the proportion of home games that a soccer team wins? We can give a specific point estimate for average human body temperature or percentage or proportion of home game wins. But more likely, we give a window that the real number is somewhere in here. Because remember, we don't have the whole population almost ever, and we have just a sample to work with to try and predict the population. So we have these windows of values that are going to be important to us. We take confidence intervals a bit farther and we test hypotheses, like is human body temperature really 98.6 or is it a little bit less than that? Is the average price in the town you live in for a house around $200,000 or is it higher? So we can ask these questions. Is the percent of women on YouTube, is it higher than the percent of men that use YouTube? These are all questions we could answer, and we're going to use statistics and samples to try and do that. So take population information, describe it, and use those descriptive values to try and predict something about the whole population. And then there's a little probability that goes on in making these predictions, so we're going to learn all about that. We're going to do this in a system called Myopenmath, and I see a bunch of you have already jumped in there and started playing with me. All the course information comes from Myopenmath, and so here's a quick shot of the home screen. In there, you're going to do some reading. Based on the reading, you're going to watch some videos, and you're going to do some practice problems. Practice problems will have a list of problems you need to do, and as you get them right, they get checked off. You may get an X if something is wrong, and you get to type a value in there. Sometimes there's more elaborate work that you're going to do. And the practice problems can be redone repeatedly. 3 problems at a time for most assignments, and then it recycles. So I would get 3 attempts at this problem. If I get it wrong 3 times, it'll give me a slightly different version of this problem to work on. And we'll see that in a little bit. Once the due date passes, you can check out what you previously entered, your scored attempts, by going to the gradebook. And in the gradebook, you would look up that assignment and click on the grade. And this only works after the assignment is due. Before the assignment is due, it'll show you a grade or that you just haven't done it yet. Maybe a little dash if I hadn't done it yet. And I can also go show the answers and see if mine was wrong, what the correct answers should have been. You can also access homework in what's called review mode. And that's like a lot like doing the regular homework, except there'll be a little message at the top that says, hey, this is in review mode, your grade's not going to change past the due date. We also have these critical thinking exercises to do, and that's where I'm going to give you a question, and then you need to provide an answer to that question, another question, answer, and so on. After you post yours, you can see what other people posted, including me. So you should read my entry, you should read some of your peers' entries, and then you should correct or adjust yours, adding something or correcting something. It's pretty unlikely you're going to make a post that's going to be good first try. It's going to need some work. So consider this your first draft, and I expect to see at least a second draft, if not third draft. Let's jump into Myopenmath. So each section in the home page here is expandable and collapsible by clicking on the title or the arrow. So I'm going to post announcements each week. So quick welcome here. Statistics sent to me from the Bureau of the Census Bureau. You'll find more interesting data right there. I use Google Hangouts, which is now moving to YouTube Live, aka YouTube Webcam. It's constantly changing names. So if you want to do a video chat with me, get some help on problems, then you'll need a Google account. And once you're in there, it's pretty easy to for me to invite you into a video chat. Course information. So please read this right away. Webbook is usually online, and it's completely searchable, and it's got a very lovely table of contents, so you can jump around between chapters and between sections. There's also a PDF version of the book you could download to whatever device you have in case you need to look at it when you're not online. So that would be download more, or you could buy the physical copy from the bookstore. I think it's under $40, around 33, 34, 35, somewhere. Please read the syllabus, and then take the syllabus quiz. Brief information about me here. Since I told you a little about me, I need you to tell about yourself for the rest of the class, because it's going to be good to have some study partners. And since this is an online class, the best place to meet your study partner is in this website, so please check it out. Whether you've used Myopenmath, aka Mom, before, you're going to need to practice entering answers. So your first 3 assignments are read the syllabus, take the quiz, post your autobiography, and then show me you know how to enter answers into this system. Of course, schedule what main topic and sections I hope to cover and when the homework is due. Homework due dates are almost always on a Saturday, with 2 exceptions. One being the last week of classes. Class ends on Thursday. Grades are also due that day, which is an interesting complication. And the other time things aren't due at the end of the week is these special intro assignments, the entering answers in Mom, your autobiography, and the syllabus quiz for this. Those are all due by this Wednesday. Otherwise, each section has the same structure. I'm going to tell you why we're doing what we're doing, what I expect you to learn, what I expect you to show me you can do, a 1 or 2 page snapshot of the vocabulary that's in the textbook. It's usually going to be a video from the author of the textbook, followed by some other either pages or websites that I think you're going to need to make stuff happen. The plan for every week is pretty similar. You're going to have to review, and that means read the textbook and check out any videos I've linked above. Then you're going to do the practice problems, which are coming below. Practice problems can be repeated over and over up to the due date. critical thinking, those are the writing assignments. You need to post after you've done your practice problems before late Saturday evening, and then you need to read other people's posts and then adjust yours, make it better. There's also an application problem, which is a lot like the practice problems. It incorporates a bunch of skills that you've learned. You only get one shot at it. Practice problems are repeatable. Critical thinking is kind of repeatable. You make your first post and then you reply to it to make it better. And then the application, you get one shot at it. I grade it, but then after I give you some feedback, you get to send me some corrections if you wish. You have a week to do so. And every once in a while, I'll ask you to do a little self-assessment. How do you think it's going? There's always going to be a forum to ask questions about things going on that week. That question forum is accessible from the homework problems. So if you're stuck on a problem, you can hit message this question to forum. So post this question to forum, and that'll let you write, hey, I tried this, this, and this, and I get stuck. Anybody have some tips? And then if one of your peers gives you some successful feedback, then that peer will get extra credit. If you don't want to post to the forum, which I think this should be your first choice, you can send me a message, and they both work the same way. What pops up is a little window here. You need to write your question at the top. Tell me what's going on. I tried blah, blah, blah. It didn't work. And it's going to show the problem that you were working on. When I get the link, I will be able to see anything you entered. Your classmates will just see the question you asked and the question you're asked, the problem you're asking about, and then you just post it. You can feel free to adjust the subject if you wish, but the program usually picks a pretty good subject there. All right, so in addition to getting help from me or your peers by using the message instructor or post to forum, there's often going to be videos attached to problems. And so let's see, these have videos. Not all of them do, but some of them do. This one, I'm on a roll. Oh. Anyway, some of them have videos attached to them. There we go, video. So occasionally there's videos that come with them that help you do that problem. If you have to use the video to solve the problem, then after you get it right, so let's see if I can get this one right. Let's see, class limit of 15, that would be this one. Relative frequency is a percentage, so 2 out of 20, 30, 43. Calculator. It says that would be about to the nearest 10th of a percent, 4.7%. Again, you want to make sure you read the instructions given with the problem below and above, and then when you click on the problem, you're often going to get tips, and you can click more to get more tips. And then pay attention to symbols around the outside. This is definitely prompting me for a percent, as it is down here. So if you had used the video to get it right, I got it right, then you should try a similar question and make sure you can get it right without your video nearby practice. Because when it comes to taking a test, you're not going to have a video button there to help you out with the test, because tests are on paper for the most part. So again, you're going to do your reading, video watching, you're going to do your practice problems. After that, you're going to post to the forum, and there's instructions about how to post to the forum and the questions you have to answer, which you can just copy and paste. You should definitely put a relevant subject. Copy and paste your questions. Add new lines, you don't hit enter, that gives you a new number. What you have to do is do shift enter, and that gives you all the new lines that you want, and then you can set your answer in. So in between each question, shift enter, instructions that say do that, type all your answers in nice and neat. Oops, messed that one up. Shift enter. If it says you misspelled it, make sure you go back and clean up that spelling. And for all the questions, then post it, then review what other people wrote, and then reply to yours to adjust it. All right, couple more things, and then I'll let you get to work. So sometimes I include some extra videos that are going to help you with the harder problem to come, the application. You usually only get one shot on the application. Every once in a while, I give a couple more shots, mostly because people make errors when they're submitting, like submit prematurely. So in this case, since it's the first time you're doing one of these, this one says you get 3 tries, but you really don't. You just get 1 try at it. If you accidentally submit it, you can go try submitting it again. But here you're going to review the spreadsheet here, and then you're going to answer some questions based on that. Do the reading to make that happen, and have finished the practice problems, and have done the critical thinking. And that's it. Everything's pretty much the same. New topics, but same structure. So one more quick look. What you're going to learn, how you're going to start learning it, text and videos, sometimes some other useful websites, then do your practice problems till you get them all right, then do your critical thinking, read other people's and reply to your own to fix it up, and then your application problem. All right, so get in there, do some statistics, do good math, and stay in touch. I'm Gary Parker. I will see you in the near future.